Welcome back to Investing in Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. In the last segment, we were covering supply and demand, how the markets work, and why are you listening to the show? Why are you looking into the financial markets? Everybody has some sort of reason. Some people they're looking for another income strategy. Some people they're looking for retirement strategies, 401ks, IRAs. Whatever that soup du jour is for you, that's what we cover in these investing classes that we have people texting into just recently for these investing classes here in Bloomington. We have these all across the metro where you can get started if you're brand new or you've been trading and investing for many, many years and looking for more consistency. So simply to come into one of these classes, just text the word investing to the number 210-210, and that's for 2 seats for a free investing class all across the metro. Text investing to the number 210-210. When you do that, you're going to get a text right back, and that will direct you to our landing page. So you have to click a link. It'll direct you. It'll say exactly what to do. Click the link to get into our landing page and find a date that works the best for you. You can also go online to otamin.com. That's OTAMINN.com. Make sure to follow the podcast on Investing and Trading Live. That's Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So, Al, in this next segment here, let's talk through some of those income strategies that people are searching for in the markets. Because as we know, things are not getting any cheaper in life, but people want that freedom of time, that freedom of location, and being able to do that. Sometimes their current occupation just isn't flexible enough for that. They either have to go into a job and go there for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, whatever that may be. Or they work on their computer at home, but they're stuck. Like they have so much activity to do and things to take care of while they're working. They can't go do the fun things that they want to do. So they want to have more flexibility of their time, but they want to be able to have at least an opportunity to still have an income strategy and still be able to do that, because the markets, all you need is an internet connection, obviously, right? And a computer or a phone. I mean, quite frankly, you can trade and invest off any device that has internet, that has a platform on it. So when you're seeing people that are coming to these workshops and these investing classes, what are some of the things that they're telling you that they're looking for out of the markets? Because I think it'll help our listeners that haven't came in yet say and understand that there's everyday people or regular people just like you listening that want to do better. So what are some of the things that they're saying?
Well, I think a lot of people that are coming in are they've gone past the point where they're embarrassed about where they are financially, and by that I mean about 68 to 70% of the people in the country live paycheck to paycheck. And that's including people that are in the 6-figure income, Josh, because when your lifestyle goes up, the cost of that lifestyle goes up too. Yep. So there's a lot of people that just barely make it, that after their bills are paid, there isn't enough left over to have some fun, to do some of the leisure things we're talking about. Or even worse yet, to put money into a retirement portfolio. Because all the money for your retirement portfolio, what you're going to rely on when you retire, and that time will come no matter whether you want it to or not. At some point in time, you will be retired. And if you don't have enough left over during your working years from your income to kind of fill that or feed that bucket, that's going to be a uncomfortable time period for you in retirement. And this is what's happening. We've had this huge market run. Actually, since 2009, we've had a huge bull market. The problem, Josh, is that only 10% of the people in this country own over 80% of the stock, which means that not a lot of people, the majority of the people are not in the stock market. Maybe they have some money in the market through a 401k or an IRA, but for the most part, the wealth that has been created since we went through the last recession has been really limited to the top group of people in this country.
Yeah, what's interesting too, Al, is I saw a stat a while back, and it was something around with the crypto market. It said it was between 10 and 20% of people, regular people, actually have crypto. But it's such a hot topic, so people are missing out on these great opportunities, whether it's stocks or any type of market.
And why do people stay away from crypto? Because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of components there that you need to understand to be able to do it safely.
But if you think about though, Al, it's still just buying and selling. It's you buy a cryptocurrency and you sell it. It's just like buying a stock and selling a stock, or buying gold and selling gold. The same concept. But that's why we discuss that and show people how to do that if you haven't done that before.
Yeah, and when you talk about fear, you talk about risk. People are afraid to do things. A lot of people stayed out of the market because they thought the risk was too great for them. Well, what I'm going to tell you is that the risk is in the person. It's not in the asset. It's not in the market. It's how you use things and how you use things the wrong way. One of our goals is to show you how to use the right asset at the right time, the right way. I'm a little reluctant, I guess, to use this analogy, but it's sort of like a gun. Guns just sitting there are not dangerous. It's when the wrong person picks it up. That's when the problem arises. And the same thing is true in the markets. If you and we see this all the time, Josh, where people, and I'd say probably 60-70% of the people coming into the workshops say, yeah, I had some money in the market, I did something, it went well, and then I lost it. And I said, well, what kind of strategy were you using? I don't know. I had no idea what I was doing. And we hear that repeatedly. I have no idea what I was doing. And that's a dangerous way to use your money. That's a pretty important part of your life. So our goal is to show you what's available in the market, what the benefits are there. We talked about that freedom of time, freedom of being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it and not worry about the money part of it. We'll show you what the assets are that are available that Wall Street's not telling you about. Wall Street's using them. All the big players, the professional traders out there are using assets that they're not telling the public about. And basically they don't want people to know because they want to be the ones that benefit from using those assets and strategies.
Correct, and it's not a secret deal. They're not just trying to be secretive. It's just why would they educate regular people to do what regular people pay them to do, or basically just hold? So it's just one of those things where if you don't know, well, it's time to understand some of that stuff. And that's why we do these investing classes, to introduce you to these techniques, these concepts, these different assets that we'll talk about here coming up that Al is referring to, that do different things. It's like having the proper car, the proper vehicle. If you're driving through the snow, you're going to want a 4x4 rather than your Corvette. So it's just the same concept, different. It's a market. So I want to invite you to one of these investing classes right here in Bloomington. As a matter of fact, we're all across the metro. We do these classes during the week. We have on the weekends, so pretty much anybody can attend. I'm going to give you a text line to text in, and when you get that text message, when you send a text into this, you're going to get a text back that will bring you to our landing page so you can pick your own date for these classes. So just text the word investing to the number 210-210, and that's for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend. Text the word investing to the number 210-210, and we'll get you into one of those investing classes to get started. So with these different types of people coming in, Al, we're seeing a lot of great people that are doing very, very well. High-level executives that are coming to these investing classes, people that are very, I won't say financially set, but they've done well. Mm-hmm. But they still want to do better. They want to do different things. They want to have they have very good income, but their retirement is a little behind. So they feel they need to increase that retirement, right? So those types of people, they want to be able to improve their lifestyle. They already have a good one, but they want to improve it for their family too. Mm-hmm. Some of them want to leave legacies. So when you're seeing those types of people come in, which is a lot of them, that have great jobs, doing very well financially, they have 401ks and IRAs, but they've been saving so much, or they feel they have, but it's just not where they feel it should be. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that you're discussing with them to give them more hope? It's a 4-letter word, hope, to do something a little bit better in the future.
Yeah, and there's also a group of people that have what they feel is enough to make it through retirement comfortably, but they're afraid that it won't stay there.
Correct.
It won't stay enough because people are living longer, the cost of living is going up, and we'll go through market drawdowns. We'll go through bear markets. And in 2022, the S&P 500 was down over 20%. That's a big hit to somebody's portfolio that is in retirement or just going into retirement. But if you have what you feel comfortable with, but it's maybe not quite enough, maybe you're not as comfortable as you want to be, a lot of people are concerned that they have to take all of their retirement money and they have to put it into something that they feel might have too much risk. The great thing about the assets that we're talking about for income is that you can take a small amount of your money, and in some cases it may just be a couple $1,000s, and put it into a portfolio, into an asset that has leverage, and that $2,000 might have you might give you the ability to invest in something that's worth 20 times or 50 times that amount.
So basically, what you're saying is because most people think about stocks because that's what they hear and see on TV, and when someone says, "Oh, I need to put money in the market," they think it's all that risk.
Yeah, when they talk about the market, they think it's the stock market or the mutual fund market.
That's the great thing about some of these other assets that you're referring to is when you use less capital, you're putting less money in the market, so you don't need as much for one, but also nobody wants to put all their money in the market. Well, why not be more efficient with that? So it's just other assets that have those opportunities, futures and forex.
Yeah, and I think most of the studies out there have shown that a good portion of your success is based on your asset allocation. The problem is most financial advisors have you allocated within the same asset, and that's the equity asset, the stock assets. Whether you're in a mutual fund or individual stocks, what happens when the market crashes or corrects is that the correlation between them becomes huge, and everything gets sucked down. Good companies get taken down with the bad companies. There are other assets that are going up at the same time. There are assets that are inversely correlated. There are some assets that have no correlation. We talk a lot about the commodities market. That's part of the futures family. Sugar, soybeans, that has nothing to do with what's happening in the S&P 500, so there's no correlation there. And then there are things that typically have inverse correlation, like the stock market and gold. You can have a truly diversified portfolio using just the futures market, for example. But then you've also got the foreign exchange market, the forex market, the options market. Even the big players out there, people like Warren Buffett, who basically just preach about buying stock and holding on to it, they make Warren Buffett, as an example, makes probably $8 or $9 billion a year trading options. Why isn't he telling other people about that? Well, because he wants them to buy stock in companies that he owns.
Exactly.
Shares of Berkshire Hathaway.
Create volatility for him.
Sure. And the stock market, by the way, is a great market for your long-term wealth, but you shouldn't just put a portfolio together and then just let it ride. If you're in retirement, you've got your, what you feel is a comfortable amount of money, you still should manage that. And at the very least, make sure that you have protection. You have a hedged portfolio. In other words, if the market goes down, even if the individual components, the individual stocks, for example, of your portfolio go down, your overall portfolio doesn't have to. There is an asset you can use that's just the exact same as an insurance policy that will protect your assets.
I like that. And that's, we're just seeing many different types of people that are coming to these investing classes that are pretty cool. Some, as you're mentioning, some are very wealthy, want to do better. They have great jobs, but their retirement isn't quite set up yet, and they want to be able to protect it, grow it. That way they have that freedom during that retirement time, because that's supposed to be the best time of your life, right? You don't want to be spending your golden years at the golden arches. So to come into one of these investing classes, just text the word investing to the number 210-210 and see what these assets are that Al is referring to, the futures market, forex, options. What are the opportunities? These aren't secrets. They're just secretive to you, because if you just don't know about them, then they are kind of a secret. So text the word investing to the number 210-210 right now for 2 seats for that investing class. These are about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, depending on who's teaching them. Al teaches these, I teach these as well. We have a great time talking about the markets. Text investing to the number 210-210. So Al, you mentioned something interesting there, is if you shouldn't just let your money just put money in the market and just let it ride or let it sit in there. I want to talk about on the next segment, and you hit the nail on the head. You should manage that. If you think about this, that is something that you've saved up for all of your life, and most people just let it sit and hope that somebody else is doing their, doing well for them. But if you don't know what's going on with that, now is the time to understand what's going on with that, with your retirement accounts. Coming up next, retirement and retirement strategies. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We will be right back.